there, Shawna Karrasch here with an Ask Shawna answer coming to you from Luke. And Luke says, hi, I have a 3-year-old quarter horse gelding that is usually very sweet and has been doing well with training, but he also sometimes gets to be very irritated and angry during training and lunging, etc. He'll pin his ears and sometimes even try to come in at me or nip at me. I really want him to enjoy his training and for it to be a positive experience for both of us. Do you have any ideas why he acts like this? I have just recently found out about clicker training and am fascinated by it, and I'm learning to try to learn more about it. But I'm a bit overwhelmed by all the information. I'm not quite sure where to start. So I would greatly appreciate any help you could give me. Thank you so much for your time, Luke. Okay, Luke, I totally understand your confusion and frustration. There's a lot of information out there, and technical terms can start coming out, and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know what any of this is. Or you can see people saying, oh, you can't use any pressure, and other, so it gets a little bit all over the map. But but when you think about it, they're all learning through this operant conditioning, and that positive reinforcement is one of the parts of operant conditioning. And they're already functioning through these ways anyway. So they're already utilizing operant conditioning, whether we're involved in their lives or not. They're already learning to operate on their environment. That's where it comes from. So as they're learning to operate on their environment, they're already in that mode. So as we start talking about the clicker training and how it works, it starts making sense. As you think about, and clicker training, using positive reinforcement in the training program is really what it is. The clicker is it's with the clicker. So so as you start talking through it, you start to go, oh, of course, that just makes so much sense because it's all based in science. But it's only part art and only part science, because there's a lot of art in there too. So you can't just read a textbook and look stiffly at it. And so I think you probably have a good idea about the art side, and some of this information just getting put in there will help you through it. I suggest listening to more of my Ask Shawna questions on my YouTube channel, and you'll kind of start to see, as you just listen to some of those, as one person said, that she gets all kinds of great nuggets, even from ones that she doesn't think are for her issue, because it's some of the principles being covered a little bit in each one. As you start to watch them, you'll start to think through it a little bit better, and it'll make sense, and you will get little nuggets that'll help you throughout as you're trying to get the big understanding towards it. There's one video that I have out there. I also have it on my blog that's on my website, askshawna.com, and it is called Getting Your Horse Off to the Right Start for Clicker Training. And so I had kind of a particularly mouthy horse on that one a little bit, but it'll show you some of the basics really quickly in a nutshell. It's not as thorough, and it doesn't cover the principles as much. On my DVD, you can train your horse to do anything, and the book, you can train your horse to do anything. I really cover the principles behind it, but you can watch that little free one on my blog, or on the go to the blog for it, because I'll put more information on the blog, and that will give you more information. I think that'll help you to see how to get started and understanding some of the principles behind it. But it is all science. I didn't make this up. Nobody made it up. It's out there. I've just done it for 30 years now, so I'm good at helping people to learn it and understand it. So I'm really glad that you're interested in going there. And I want you to not hesitate to ask more questions, because I'm here to help, and I'm here to make it simple, and I have people doing it all over the place that they don't know the scientific terms, but they know that they understand the concepts that they put in effect to help their horse. So you can get as involved as you like, or keep it as basic as you like. But I think the more you understand it, the more you'll want to pursue more and more learning. And I'm here for every single level. Anyway, so I really appreciate, Luke, that you got a hold of me and asked me about it. And at 3 years old, it's a great time to get your little horse on board. So the first thing I would do if I see, and you may already thought of this, but it's just my responsibility to say this, whenever I see a behavior change, I first want to rule out physical. Just make sure there's not, because all of a sudden to get grumpy, it could be that there's, tack isn't fitting right, he's got some sort of soreness in his feet, he's got ulcers, he's got, some sort of physical thing that might be causing this. So do what you can to rule out, talk to your vet, or your other, sometimes chiropractor, whatever. Just rule out things and make sure everything is going well on that side of things. And when you've ruled that out, The next thing I would do is if you find an area where he tends to get grumpy, I look at that as kind of like the threshold. This is where it changes, whatever that, sometimes it's arbitrary, it's all over the place, and you don't really know what it is, but if you know that it's always when I ask him to trot to the right, or it's always when I ask for that upward transition to the canter, or it's always when if you notice there's a tendency anyway, then we can directly break it down and work on those little elements. But what I tend to do, so you're going to have to figure out where those places might be, I break it down to the simplest steps again. So when you were first teaching him to go in these ways, and maybe he came to you already going there, but break it down like he was a baby for you, and well, he is a baby, but I would break it down and teach it yourself. But what I do is you ask him to go for the littlest thing, and you get that first, like I'm going to walk, I click and reinforce. So what you're starting to do through traditional training, I mean, think about what's in it for the horse. There's nothing. I mean, we use pressure and release, but we create the pressure, which creates the need for release. So it's not exactly like they're going around going, boy, I sure could use a release in their day-to-day, operations. But we apply the pressure, and then we create that need. So there's not really a lot in it for them in a way, is what I'm saying. When you start putting positive reinforcement in it, it's a game changer, and it changes it on so many more levels, because then they want to do it. And so they start working through it, and they start looking forward to it, and in fact, they'll become invested in the training equation. And that is just, it gives me chills to even talk about it, because the changes you see in these horses from Olympic level to just getting started, it is amazing how their eyes light up, they get bright, they enjoy the training process, they look forward to the time with you, they get smarter and quicker. In the beginning, you got to spend a little bit of time, not long, but a little bit of repetition to get it started, like a week, like 15 minutes a day. It's not hard. But as soon as they start getting how to do this puzzle, it just grows and grows and grows and grows and grows. So they get faster and faster and faster, because they start thinking, as soon as you start launching into something new, they're like, huh, this, got it. They get really bright about it. So I know it's a big, broad question, and there's a lot of, I'm sure there's a lot more questions you're going to have. I don't know what area you live in, but I do clinics all over. I think attending a clinic, even just as an auditor, would be a great way to go, because you get to see it in person and get to ask questions. But checking out some of those DVDs, check out more of my YouTube stuff, and I think you'll find, and my blog has written stuff as well with the YouTube ones. So I think that will help you out. But that's what I kind of suggest to start, and I highly recommend you start using the positive reinforcement with your horse. And I think that what you'll see come out of him and how the relationship changes, I think you'll be really, really pleased, and so will he. And that's the best part. He will love his work, and he will look forward to doing it. I had a horse that came to me and he was really sour. He had other issues he was stopping at jumps, and he had to get over that. And short order, he's jumping a 3-6 jump in the middle of the arena, no rider, no shoot, no whip, no pressure. It's in the middle of the arena, and he would just so he really turned it around. And he used to be really sour about things. He was like cranky about when you pulled out the saddle, or if you groomed. It just was kind of sourpussy about everything. And riding, he kind of seemed like his back was kind of tender, and we got that better and gave it time, but he just kept that grumpiness. And pretty soon, after a little while of using the positive reinforcement under saddle, pretty soon, if I pulled out the saddle, he didn't know who it was for. He would just start nickering like, I hope it's my turn to ride. So it's very well work. So it really, really changes it. Anyway, Luke, if you have more questions, please don't hesitate to get a hold of me. You know where. You can go to AskShawna.com or my Ask Shawna Facebook page. It's better on AskShawna.com because it's easier to print them. Anyway, so please get a hold of me and let me know how it's going, because like I said, I'm here to help you all the steps along the way. Okay, until next time, enjoy getting your horse on target. Bye-bye.